Hello everyone, welcome to this week's DIY. Today we're going to be working with some tropical flowers just like last week, but it's going to be a little bit more different with different flowers and it's going to be super fun. I hope you're excited. I got my tropical shirt on and I want you guys to stay confident. Speaking of staying confident, today's saying of today is take a risk because whoever dares wins. I want you guys to stay confident in there. Again, this one's a lot more structured like last week, so you might have to fumble around with the flowers a little bit, but that is completely okay. I believe in you and we got this because we're a team and that's what makes this fun, of course. All right, so the first thing we're gonna use today is our apidestral leaves. We got some variegated apidestral leaves. I love these because they're super neon colored and you can really see the detail in them. It's very cool, so we're gonna be using those. We have these Macara orchids, very beautiful. Again, they have this really pretty like reddish plum color, almost kind of like if you look deeply in it, it's almost magenta-y in a way. Very beautiful, very excited to use these. We have our pin cushions, very excited to use these. I believe these are in the Protea family, so they're related to like proteas and stuff like that. They're some of my favorites to use, so very excited to use these. And when they open, they just don't even look real. Like, can you believe this comes from nature? I certainly can't. And then we have our Alstromera, or as I might say in the video, Alstro. So if you hear me say Alstro, I'm talking about these. They have a very pretty red color and they're really gonna bring out the red inside of that Macara and go very nice with these pin cushions. We have a little bit more greenery for you. We have these Bellini palms. Again, we used these last week and we're gonna be using them again, but we're gonna be using them in a more fun way. We're gonna be twisting them up like this, fanning them out. Again, getting creative in here, getting crazy, that's what I say. And then we have these Xanadu leaves. Very cool. When you like cut into them, they smell very fragrant, very planty, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it better, but they smell a little planty. And we'll be using those. So that is our stuff for today, and let's get started. Love this little tropical thing we got going on. It's super fun. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is start with my wiring, just to get it all out the way. Let's do that together. So first what we're gonna do is we're going to wire our apidestral leaves. So last week I taught you a trick where you have this and then you poke it through. Well, these are a little bit too soft to do that. So we are gonna make sure that we don't poke through it and we actually wire them together. And then we're also gonna wire our leaves together. Today's vase I'm gonna be using is this jar that I found in my kitchen. Isn't it great? It's beautiful. And this is just to show you that you can design this out of anything you want. You don't have to use your Flowers of Dreams vase, even though it's a great vase. You can use anything you really want. But today, I have this really pretty jar that I'm gonna use. All right, so first with wiring, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna bend it, just like this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it a little stick first. I'm gonna cut it up just like we did last week and kind of make like a stick, like what we talked about last week. But we're not gonna use this sharp edge to poke through. We're just gonna give it something to wire to. It makes our life a little easier. So cut up, cut up, cut up, cut up. Ooh, don't break your vase, guys. All right, and then we're gonna bend it around that little sharp edge I just made. And we're gonna wire it around. And you only need to go around a few times. It doesn't have to be super tight. You don't want to damage the leaf. Cut that off. And then bam, you got your wired apidestral leaf. Isn't that cool? Pretty. All right, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our Bellini palms. You should have a few in yours. I think I'm only gonna wire one of them, maybe two. I'll decide. You're allowed to change your mind in here. I'm gonna take off some of those bottom leaves. Again, no leaves touching the water. That's the rule that I say all the time. Hope you guys remember. And we're gonna do that. Do it really tightly. Twist around a few times. And then we're gonna take some of our wire. We're gonna twist that around just a few times. It doesn't have to be a lot. That wire behind me. Got all this extra stuff. Again, you don't want that inside of your water. So I'm just gonna give that a quick clipping. Bam, now we have this really cool like fan thing going on. So we're gonna play with that. You know what? I've changed my mind. I am gonna do another, cause why not? Do it as many times as you want though. This is your arrangement. So again, we're gonna take off those bottom leaves so there's not too much in the way. I think I kind of want to make this one smaller, like have different size loops, you know, get some variance going on in there. I'm going to twist that around. See, now this one is just a little bit tinier than this one. Cute, very cute. And I'm going to use this little bit of wire I have left, wrap it around a few times. Make sure I'm untucking my leaves that I want shown, so that they're still in there. Again, you don't gotta wrap it around too many times. And bam, now I have two little fans, two different sizes. Very spiky, very cool. All right. And then I have one more epidestral leaf that, do I wanna keep it in there or do I wanna, let's see. What do you guys think? Not that you can answer back to me, but I think I'm gonna tie them both up, why not? This one's a little furled up, that happens sometimes, but that's okay. You just unfurl it and then do the same thing we did. So we're gonna cut up that stem. So it makes like a stick. I'm gonna do this one a little higher so then I can have a longer stem that works a little better, and then like kind of a smaller loop. Isn't it cool how you can manipulate flowers, guys? Like I said last week, forestry is a form of design. And people really do think we just be sticking flowers in a vase, but no. There's a lot that goes into it. Right, I'm gonna take this last piece of wire, do exactly what we did. It doesn't need to be super tight, doesn't need to be too much. And then bam, now we have 4 wire things that we get to use together. Awesome, I'm excited. All right, so now we're gonna start placing our greens. So first I'm gonna go in with these Xanadu leaves. We're gonna give them a fresh cut. Again, I'm just gonna get some stuff in the vase so we can start building structure, if that makes sense. These are probably gonna be 2 little accents that I'm gonna put towards the front of my vase because I really want their like texture to be shown. These are, everything inside tropical arrangements usually has like really good texture. So again, you want them to be seen. For these, I think I'm going to cut them in a way where one's kind of over here and then one's like more towards the front. Let me see how that looks. Always turn your vase, see how it's looking. Let me take that one a little shorter. Cut those bottom leaves off. That might be touching the water. Make sure you guys are seeing me do that. See how that looks so far. It's looking cool. Looking very spiky. Kind of like it. Now, we're gonna do what we did last week with our last palm, and we're gonna cut into a fun shape. I'm really into the arrow look right now, and I kind of want this to be almost bigger than most of the other stuff that I'm using. So we're gonna try to make this one a little more taller than the ones we were making last week. So you take it, and then again, you just start that arrow cut upward. Then bam, we have that edge already done. And now we're gonna do the same to the other. I'm gonna go back down that way. Beautiful. Beautiful, now you have yourself like a little arrow that you can put right in there. I'm trying to decide, do I want this one or this one? I think that looks pretty cool. All right, Now we're gonna go on with our epidestra leaves. So these are very cool and neon-like, so we want them to kind of show off, you know, again, everything with purpose inside of tropical arrangements. So I think I'm gonna do one right here coming out the front. I could do a double, but then you can't see my Xanadu leaves, so that's not fun. How about we do one kind of more towards the back, one that's kind of offshooting this way. That looks cool. Let's see. Guys, next week I might need to get a Lazy Susan. If you got a Lazy Susan in your house, that would be smart for this. I kind of like how that looks. Not kind of, I do like how that looks. This is what I got going on right now. Again, play with your shapes, do what makes you happy. I got this extra piece right here, so maybe I'll save that for later and see how I like it, and then I'll try to rework this piece back in once I figure out what I want to do with it. All right, next we're gonna start going in with our focals. So we have these two pretty pin cushions. Again, the texture of them are beautiful, and I want them to be next to each other, just like last week, because again, in tropical arrangements, there's a lot of big groupings, so your eye is drawn to the big bright colors. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see how I like them. Do I want them like facing me? Do I want them standing up? I think I want them facing the person looking at the bouquet, because if you look into these, they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna try to make them more like facing outward. And remember, in order to do that, you might have to cut them a little shorter, because in order to get that angle in that jar. We've talked about this in the past couple weeks. So, all right, so we got one in there already. That's one. Now, do I want this one to be taller? I want it to be shorter. For now, I think I'm gonna go taller. It's really nice designing this inside of this jar because, again, the tropical arrangements really need structure. So having this small jar really keeps it tight in there. So every time I stick something in, it's staying there. It's nice. All right. I think I'm gonna switch the placement of these two. Maybe I like it that way. There we go. That's cool. I like that. Hope you like that, viewers. Again, fidget with your placements. Everything's gonna move around. That is okay. We are patient. We are challenging ourselves. We are taking risk. We got this. All right. Good. All right, so now time for our Macara orchids. Again, these are beautiful. These are one of my favorite things to use. And I think I want them being opposite of our proteas. I could try one on both sides. You know what? Let's play around. Let's see how both ways look. Why not? So for now, I'm gonna make sure these are like open and beautiful and showing all their pretty leaves. Usually you can look at a Macara Macara orchid, and you can see what side they're facing. So you don't want it facing away from the blooms. Remember, flowers have faces. That's something that one of my good friends at Flowers for Dreams Detroit taught me. Flowers have faces. So you always wanna see their face. So look where those blooms are and then face them towards the onlooker. So I can see that the blooms are facing this way, so I'm not gonna do this way, I'm gonna do that way. Pretty, oh, that's already looking good. Look how beautiful that is. You can't really go wrong with the orchid though, if I'm being honest. All right, we're gonna go. Do I like that on both sides? I don't know, viewers. I don't know, flower friends. I think I actually like it better if it was like this. Yeah, that looks cool. You know what? Let's do it. Or to get that angle I want, I'm gonna have to cut it shorter just to make sure that there's no flowers or stems. I'm gonna cut off this bottom one. I know, it will make you sad, but sometimes we have to make sacrifices. And hey, put it in your hair. Do something with it. Put it in a bowl of water, it will stay alive. All right, so we're gonna go right here. Just make sure your jar is full enough where all the stems are touching water. That's really important. All right. She's looking good. Look at her. All right. So now we have a couple of our Astro leaves. So now I'm thinking, where do I want to put these? Maybe I wanted one. I see that there's kind of a bald spot right here. So maybe I can put one poking out I'm gonna take off all these leaves because Alstro, very annoyingly so if I may say, comes with a lot of leaves on it. So you wanna take off these leaves so that the main thing that you focus on when you look at it is the flower. Because you know, we don't need any distractions. The flowers are beautiful, so you wanna show them off, you know? Flowers have faces. All right, so see where I want that? Kind of want it a little deeper. Remember, cut all your stems on an angle, guys. But we're pros by now, you know that. You know. All right, I'm gonna put that right there so it pops out a little bit. Ooh, pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right. Pretty. All right, maybe I'll do one that's more showing out this way. Let's try it. Let's try it. All right. All right. So now I'm just doing my finishing touches on this. I'm really playing with the stems. If something's falling out, that's okay. Don't get too stressed. Just put it right back in there. Really playing with colors. Really playing with some colors over here. Really make sure that everything is purposefully placed. Let me turn this one around so it's on the right side. Again, making sure all my blooms are being seen. There we go. And then, almost there, guys, we got this. Y'all are probably like, Madison, I'm already done. Well, good for you. I'm happy about that. I hope you guys are going faster than me. You guys are great. And let me cut this one a little shorter. Maybe that will help. I know it's scary, but sometimes that's what we gotta do to achieve what we want with our flowers. We gotta cut them a little shorter. And then let me put this one more towards the front. All right, and bam. That's our tropical arrangement for today. Isn't it beautiful? I really like the touches of reds in it and the plums in it and these two pin cushions that are gorgeous, and then the variegation of these leaves. Absolutely gorgeous. I hope you guys had fun this week. Again, take risks. You guys did great. And don't forget, as long as you get stems, you will be okay. You might get different palms or different leaves, but I want to see how creative you're being. So just like last week and like every other week, make sure you send us pictures at the link below in the comments because I'm so excited to see what you guys do with this week's DIY. Thank you so much and see you next week. Bye.